The galaxy was laughing. Across countless star systems, alien races filled their halls with laughter as the message spread. Humanity, the newest species to join the stars, had been summoned before the Galactic Council. To the aliens, humans were a dangerous mistake, a primitive predator given too much freedom. The decision was made. Earth must be tested, humiliated and broken. The summons came like a hammer blow. A council ship, larger than any human battleship, appeared in orbit above Earth. Its silver hull shone against the blue and white of the planet. Entire cities looked up as the ship's voice thundered across the atmosphere. The message was simple. Humanity was accused of being too violent. They were predators in a galaxy that believed in control, order, and peace. The punishment was cruel. Earth would choose a single human to enter the arena of death. No weapons, no tools, only bare hands and instinct. The arena was infamous. Entire species had entered it before. None had survived. To the Council, this was entertainment. To Earth, it was a death sentence. Inside the United Earth Assembly Chamber, leaders from every nation sat in silence. Screens showed the faces of the alien council, cold, confident, mocking. Some had insect-like mandibles clicking in laughter. Others had scaled faces with glowing eyes full of scorn. One alien spoke with a booming voice. Humans claim to be civilized. You kill each other with fire and steel. You build fleets of warships even as children starve on your world. You are predators unfit for peace. The arena will judge you. Send one of your kind. If he survives, Earth may keep its place among us. If he fails, humanity will be banned, hunted, erased. The chamber fell into shocked silence. Billions of humans watched the live feed, fear spreading through cities and colonies. The arena had destroyed every challenger in history. Entire species stronger than humans had been torn apart. And now Earth was forced to play the same deadly game. For hours, Earth's leaders argued who could be sent. A soldier, a scientist, a volunteer. No weapons were allowed. No armor, nothing but flesh, bone, and human will. Finally, a voice spoke up. A soldier stepped forward. His name was Captain Elias Ward. He was not the strongest, nor the fastest, but he carried something the Council could not measure. He carried defiance. "I will go," he said. His voice was steady, carrying across the chamber. "If they want to see humanity unarmed, they will see what we truly are." Cameras captured his face as billions of humans stared. Some wept, some prayed, others clenched their fists in silent pride. He was not going as one man. He was going as all of humanity. The Alien Council laughed again when Earth sent its choice. A single soldier. You believe he will last more than moments. You are still a young, foolish race, but very well. Let your human try. The arena ship opened, revealing a gate of blinding light. Elias Ward walked forward. His boots echoed against the steel, no weapons at his side, no armor across his chest, only his uniform, his hands, and his unshakable gaze. From orbit, Earth's people watched in silence. From across the stars, alien crowds filled stadiums and halls. Entire fleets gathered to watch the broadcast. This was more than judgment. It was spectacle. The arena was a nightmare of alien design. Sand and stone stretched across a massive circle, lit by burning suns above. Jagged walls towered around the edge, carved with the symbols of species that had already fallen here. Some marks were faded, names erased from history, their people extinct. The silence was heavy, broken only by distant machinery preparing for the first opponent. Elias Ward stood alone in the center. He looked small under the twin suns, a single human surrounded by emptiness. But his stance was firm. He raised his head and scanned the arena like a battlefield. His eyes showed no fear, only calculation. The Alien Council leaned forward in their seats, waiting for the first strike. They expected screams, they expected blood, they expected humanity to fall quickly like all the rest. A deep roar shook the walls. Gates began to rise. From the shadows came a beast, bred for war. Its body was twice the size of a tank, armored with scales harder than steel. Eyes glowed red as it stomped into the light, teeth dripping venom, claws carving lines into the stone floor. The crowd erupted in cheers and cruel laughter. This was the first trial, one human against a monster designed to kill armies. To the council, it was already over, but Elias Ward did not flinch. He planted his feet. He studied the creature, reading its movements the way a soldier reads an enemy line. He clenched his fists and drew a single, slow breath. Billions held their breath across the galaxy. The beast roared again, shaking the very ground. Its claws scraped sparks as it lowered its head, ready to charge. The council smiled, already celebrating victory. Humanity's fate seemed sealed. Then Elias Ward smiled back. The beast thundered forward. Dust rose. Stone cracked. The roar became deafening, and Elias Ward ran straight toward it. The arena shook as the beast charged. Its claws ripped trenches into the stone. Its roar echoed like thunder across the massive chamber. Billions of alien eyes fixed on the lone human who dared to run toward such death. Captain Elias Ward did not slow. He sprinted across the sand, his boots kicking up dust, his arms pumping like pistons. The crowd was confused. No one had ever run toward the beast before. Victims always ran away, and they always died quickly. The creature lowered its head, horns like curved blades pointing directly at him. It wanted to crush him in a single strike. The alien council leaned forward, expecting the human to be torn apart in seconds. But at the very last moment, Elias moved. His body twisted with precision. He dropped low, sliding under the horn as the beast thundered past him. Dust filled the air. The crowd gasped in shock. He had survived the first charge. The monster skidded, its claws screeching against stone. Its huge body swung around, tail whipping like a steel cable. Elias rolled, narrowly avoiding the crushing strike. He rose to his feet, already watching, already calculating. This was not random luck. This was training, instinct, and the predator's mind of a human soldier. He was not fighting with weapons. He was fighting with speed, timing, and an understanding that the beast could be outsmarted. The alien council murmured among themselves. "Impossible! How is he still alive?" one delegate hissed. Another slammed a fist on the table. "No prey lasts this long. This is a trick." But it was no trick. Humanity was showing something the galaxy had never seen. Unarmed defiance. The beast roared again, enraged by its failure. It rushed forward, jaws wide, venom dripping from fangs longer than swords. Elias did not retreat. He sidestepped, striking the creature's jaw with his bare fist as it passed. The blow was nothing compared to its armored hide, but the shock traveled to its head, forcing it off balance. The crowd went silent for a heartbeat. A human had struck the beast and lived. Elias darted away, making the beast chase him. Each movement was measured. He used the arena itself, circling the jagged stones, forcing the creature into tight turns it struggled to make. Sand sprayed as claws slipped. The monster was faster, but Elias was smarter. High above, the alien council whispered in unease. They had expected screams. Instead, they were watching a duel, and the human was not losing. The beast attacked again, lunging with both claws. Elias dove forward, rolling beneath its chest. As he came up behind it, he grabbed a broken shard of stone from the arena floor. No weapon had been given, but the arena itself offered pieces if one was clever enough to see them. With a sharp cry, Elias drove the shard into a soft joint at the back of the creature's leg. The beast howled in fury and pain. The crowd erupted, some in cheers, others in disbelief, the council chambers filled with outrage. He cheated, he was given no weapon. But another voice countered, he used the arena itself. The rules do not forbid it. Bleeding, limping, enraged, the beast swung its massive tail in a wide arc. Elias barely ducked in time as the strike smashed a stone pillar into dust. He rolled, dirt and blood covering his uniform, eyes locked on the monster. He was breathing hard, but his gaze never broke. The beast lowered its head again, desperate to end the fight. It charged with a furious scream. Elias waited. He did not move too early, nor too late. At the last heartbeat, he sprinted forward, climbing the creature's horn as it struck the ground. He vaulted onto its back. With a wave of the alien leader's hand, new gates began to rise. This time, not one, but 5 predators emerged, each snarling, each faster, each deadlier than the last. The crowd screamed with excitement. The arena shook with their voices. Elias Ward tightened his fists. His face hardened. One beast was dead, but the true test had just begun. The sand of the arena shook with the thunder of 5 predators. Each one was a killing machine, bred to hunt and destroy. Their claws scraped stone. Their eyes glowed red. Their teeth were long, sharper than any human blade. Captain Elias Ward stood alone in the center. His chest heaved with heavy breaths. His uniform was torn, dust and blood streaked across his face. But his eyes were calm, calculating, fearless. The predators circled. One lunged with a speed that could snap bone. Elias sidestepped, letting it pass, and jabbed a fist into the soft flesh under its jaw. It growled, spinning, claws slashing through the air. The other 4 reacted instantly, converging on him like a coordinated pack. The alien council in orbit leaned forward, jaws dropping. No species has survived 5 predators together. One hissed. This human cannot possibly win. Elias smiled faintly. They did not understand humans. They relied on weapons. Humans relied on something different, instinct, adaptability, and the ability to think under impossible pressure. He ran toward the nearest predator, not away. Its claws cut through the air, trying to rake him. He ducked, rolled under its swipe, and pushed against its side, slamming it into another predator. The two collided with a violent crash. One predator stumbled, tripping over the other, and both fell in a heap of claws and teeth. The crowd gasped. Even the alien council whispered in disbelief. This human was not just surviving. He was using the predators against each other. Another predator lunged, massive and fast. Elias sidestepped, grabbed a shard of broken stone from the arena floor, and jabbed it into the creature's side. Sparks flew as the shard struck a weak spot in its armored flesh. The predator howled in pain, staggering backward. He darted between them, moving like a blur, never standing still, always keeping the predators off balance. Every strike, every dodge, every push sent another predator into the path of another. Their coordination faltered. They had not fought an opponent like this before. They had never faced something as unpredictable as a human. The alien council watched in horror. Species that prided themselves on precision and skill were failing where humans excelled. A human had no weapons, no armor, and yet he turned death into advantage. Elias jumped onto the back of a predator, clutching its spikes as it twisted violently. With a sharp kick, he threw it into another, sending the creatures into a chaotic tangle. They snarled at one another, teeth snapping, claws cutting, unable to focus on him because he forced them to fight themselves. The spectators screamed. The arena shook with the noise of monsters colliding. Dust and blood filled the air. Elias' chest heaved, sweat and blood dripping down his face. He had no weapons, but he had strategy, speed, and sheer courage. The predators roared together, frustration building. Their coordination was failing. The alien council slammed their hands on the railing in anger. "Stop him! End this human now!" They signaled hidden devices in the arena, but Elias was already ahead. He moved faster than the council could predict. One predator charged straight at him. Elias waited, timing it perfectly. At the last second, He rolled under its legs and drove his shoulder into a weak joint. The predator fell, skidding across the sand. He used its momentum to spring onto another's back, grabbing hold as it twisted to strike. The alien generals froze. Some turned pale. A human was not supposed to do this. They had expected screams, terror, failure. Instead, they watched a species that had been underestimated completely dominate the field, with no weapons, no armor, nothing but sheer human skill. Elias paused for a moment, breathing heavy. 5 predators remained, but their fear was growing. They hesitated, confused by this strange, unarmed creature that seemed to anticipate every move, counter every strike, and use them against each other. Then Elias raised his voice. A single shout cutting through the chaos. The predators froze. For the first time they were unsure. This human was fearless. This human was different. The council exchanged worried glances. "This is unprecedented," one whispered. "A single human is controlling the predator's behavior without weapons. The rules do not allow this. Stop him before it escalates." But the arena had already become a human battlefield. Elias leapt from one predator to another, twisting, flipping, and dodging. One predator slammed into another, knocking both down. Another backed off, confused by his maneuvers. Elias was turning death into dance, chaos into advantage. The audience gasped again. Billions of eyes from across the galaxy were glued to the screen. No species had ever survived this long in the arena, and now one human was showing the impossible. Elias landed on the sand, crouched low, eyes scanning the remaining predators. They were larger, faster, but their movements were sloppy now. Fear had entered their instincts. They could not predict him. Then he smiled, faint, calm, unshakable. "You will fight each other first," he whispered to himself, almost in mockery. The predators snarled and lunged again. Elias darted between them, a blur of motion. Claws collided, teeth snapped at one another. Chaos spread like fire through the pack. The crowd gasped, screaming, cheering, shocked beyond words. The alien council banged on their tables, demanding intervention. "He cannot survive this. End the fight now." But Elias Ward was already moving, already striking, already surviving where no one thought survival was possible. And then, as he turned to face the last predator, the largest and most vicious of all, he froze. Its eyes glowed brighter, its teeth sharper, and it crouched low, ready to strike in a way he had never seen before. The arena held its breath. The galaxy watched in horror. Elias had fought and survived the pack, but this final predator was unlike any he had faced. The last predator crouched low and ready, its massive claws digging into the sand. Its eyes glowed like molten metal, fixed on Captain Elias Ward. Every muscle in its body rippled with power and deadly intent. The other predators were groaning and retreating, battered and confused from Elias's relentless strikes and maneuvers. The alien council leaned forward, jaws tight. "Stop him!" one barked. "He cannot survive this pack. Kill him now." Yet their commands did nothing. Elias was faster, smarter, and fearless. He crouched low, scanning the arena. The sand was littered with the bodies of exhausted predators. Blood mixed with dust and smoke rose into the air. Every creature had been struck, pushed, or thrown. He had made them fight each other before facing him directly. Their coordination was gone. Their instincts were chaotic. Elias smiled faintly. He knew exactly what to do. He would use this last predator's pride against it. He darted toward the edge of the arena, baiting the beast to follow. It lunged, massive jaws snapping. Elias rolled under its claws, grabbing a jagged shard of stone. With a sharp kick, he struck the ground, sending dust and debris into the predator's eyes. The monster reared, screaming, blinded and enraged. Elias ran between the fallen predators. He jabbed, kicked, and dodged. Each motion pushed the last predator closer to its rivals. Its fury clouded its judgment. It did not notice the other predators slowly regaining their footing. The alien council shouted in frustration. "End him! Use the emergency barriers." But Elias was already using the arena as a weapon. He'd leapt onto the back of one predator and swung, forcing it into the last predator. The collision sent both tumbling claws and teeth striking each other. The arena erupted in chaos. The predators fought each other now, ignoring him. He moved like a shadow among them, striking only when necessary to maintain the imbalance. Each predator was a puzzle he solved with instinct and timing. Billions of viewers across the galaxy watched, unable to believe what they were seeing. Humanity had sent one unarmed soldier to die, yet he was controlling monsters far larger than himself. Elias ducked under a swinging tail and spun to drive his shoulder into the flank of the largest predator. It staggered, tripping over a smaller one. The other predators hesitated, unsure. Fear had entered their instincts. The pack they had once been was gone. They were confused, vulnerable, and prey to the human they had thought would be an easy kill. The alien council exchanged horrified glances. "Impossible," one whispered. "He is not just surviving. He is manipulating them. No species can do this," another delegate shouted, banging a clawed hand on the table. "Stop him now. We must intervene." But Elias did not stop. He danced between claws and teeth, his movements precise. He drove the monsters into one another, pitting them against each other. One by one they fell, exhausted and injured, fighting not him but each other. The last predator, the largest and strongest, roared. Its eyes burned with fury. It lunged at Elias, who sidestepped and rolled under its bulk. He grabbed a shard of stone from the sand, striking at a weak joint near its leg. Sparks flew as the shard dug into armored flesh. The beast roared in pain, stumbling backward. Elias did not pause. He climbed onto the creature's back, gripping its spine. The monster thrashed violently, trying to throw him off. Dust and blood filled the air. Elias adjusted his grip, holding tight, his mind calculating every movement. The alien council watched in disbelief. Every alien species had sent champions into the arena. Every one had failed. But a human, unarmed and alone, was standing atop the largest predator, controlling its movements with his skill and courage. Elias dug the shard into the beast's side and twisted. The creature cried out, slamming into the arena walls. One of the smaller predators, dazed and confused, tripped over the legs of the larger one, collapsing in exhaustion. The last predator tried to strike him again, but Elias leapt from its back, using its momentum to slam it into the ground. The arena fell silent. The remaining predators groaned in pain and confusion. Elias stood in the center, chest rising and falling, eyes locked on the alien council. He was unarmed, but he had dominated 5 monsters bred for death. The alien council erupted in chaos. Some shouted, some banged tables. Others simply stared, frozen, unable to comprehend what they had witnessed. Humanity had broken the rules of the arena without breaking the rules. One human had survived where all others had perished. Elias turned, eyes scanning the massive gates of the arena. Beyond them, a shadow moved, something larger than the beasts he had faced. A living war machine built for destruction stepped forward. Its armor was black and glinting. Its claws could crush stone. Its eyes glowed brighter than the suns above. The alien council gasped. This was the final opponent, the one banned even in galactic wars. No species had ever faced it in the arena, and now humanity would face it alone. Elias took a deep breath, steadying himself. He was exhausted, battered and bleeding, but he was not afraid. This was what humans did. They faced impossible odds and adapted. The gates opened fully, and the war machine advanced, its every step shaking the ground. Elias squared his shoulders, fists clenched, eyes blazing with defiance. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. Humanity had survived the pack, but the ultimate test was about to begin. The ground trembled as the living war machine stepped into the arena. Its metal plates gleamed under the twin suns, each movement shaking the stone floor. It was taller than any predator Elias Ward had faced, broader, faster and stronger. Its claws could crush boulders. Its eyes glowed with an intelligence that sent shivers across the alien council. The crowd across the galaxy gasped. Billions of viewers watched as a single human faced the ultimate opponent. Not just a predator, not just a pack, a weapon designed to end entire armies. Elias stood in the center of the arena, chest heaving, body battered, wounds bleeding, but his gaze never wavered. He studied the war machine with a soldier's precision. Every second counted. Every move could be fatal. The arena had rules, and the council expected him to die. But Elias had learned already. Rules could be bent, even broken. The machine moved forward, crushing stone under its massive feet. Its claws struck the ground with a force that sent dust and sparks flying. Elias dodged instinctively, rolling under one swinging limb, feeling the wind of destruction brush past him. The crowd screamed, expecting him to die instantly. The alien council exchanged worried glances. "He cannot survive this," one hissed. "No human has ever faced this weapon." "Stop him now!" Another banged on the table. "Do it! End the human before he inspires rebellion." But Elias smiled faintly. Humanity had never relied on brute force alone. Humans fought smarter, adapted faster, and thought differently. He studied the war machine's movement, noticing small patterns. A slight hesitation after each step. A predictable rhythm in the swing of its claws. A tiny weakness at its joints. The war machine lunged. Elias sidestepped, narrowly avoiding a crushing blow. He ran, baiting it, forcing it to follow him. Each movement was calculated. The machine was faster, stronger, but Elias was clever. He could use its strength against itself. He ducked under a swinging arm and jabbed his shoulder into a joint at the machine's leg. Sparks flew as metal scraped against metal. The war machine roared, spinning, claws slicing the air where he had stood moments before. Elias rolled, narrowly escaping again. The crowd was on the edge of their seats. Every eye across the galaxy was glued to the screen. Elias darted between its legs, pushing it toward the jagged walls of the arena. He struck with what little he could find, broken stone, debris, even his fists when necessary. Each strike distracted the machine, forcing it off balance. The alien council yelled in frustration. "Stop him! Kill him before it learns to counter." But Elias was already several steps ahead. He had learned the machine's rhythm. He could anticipate its strikes. He could move before it acted. The crowd gasped again when he leapt onto its back, gripping the armored plates as the machine thrashed violently. Sparks flew and dust filled the air. Elias adjusted his grip, eyes scanning for a weakness, for a way to turn this impossible fight into victory. He noticed it then, a slight gap in the armor at the back of its neck. The council did not see it. They were too busy yelling orders. Elias knew this was the opening he needed. He held his breath, timing his move perfectly. The war machine swung, trying to throw him off. Elias rolled with the movement, landing atop its back near the exposed joint. He grabbed a shard of broken stone from the arena floor. Every muscle in his body burned. His wounds throbbed, but he struck, driving the shard into the weak point with all his strength. The machine screamed, sparks flying from its joints. It thrashed violently, smashing walls, throwing sand and debris across the arena. Elias held on, using the chaos to his advantage. The predators that survived earlier watched in fear, unsure if they should flee or fight. The alien council was in panic. "Impossible! This human cannot survive. Stop the fight!" Others shouted, but no one could act fast enough. Elias Ward had already rewritten the rules. He was no longer just a soldier. He was a strategist, a predator, a human, showing the galaxy what they were capable of. The war machine stumbled, sparks flying, its systems faltering. Elias used the momentum to vault to the ground, rolling to safety. He stood, chest heaving, sweat and blood streaking his face, and raised his fist to the sky. The arena erupted in chaos. Aliens screamed. Millions across the galaxy cheered. Humanity had done the impossible. One human, unarmed, had survived the ultimate opponent. Elias spoke into the broadcast feed, voice strong despite his exhaustion. "We don't need weapons. We are the weapon." The words echoed across the galaxy, reverberating in every council chamber, every fleet, every home. The alien council was in uproar. Some were terrified, some furious. One delegate slammed its clawed hand on the table, shaking the entire chamber. "This cannot stand. Humanity cannot be allowed to survive." Another whispered, fear creeping into its voice. "If one human can do this unarmed, Imagine what an entire species could do armed, with fleets and warships. Elias did not pause to wait. He looked toward the arena gates. Beyond them, massive shadowed shapes of alien fleets could be seen, orbiting and observing. The Council's ultimate punishment had failed. Humanity had survived unarmed, had shown cunning, courage, and deadly skill, but the fight was not over. The Council would escalate. The galaxy would not forgive a human who defied them. Elias squared his shoulders, eyes blazing. He knew that survival was only the beginning. Humanity's true challenge had yet to come. The war machine lay disabled, sparks flickering from its joints. Elias took a step forward, chest rising and falling. He whispered more to himself than anyone else. This is only the start. The ground trembled as the war machine stirred. Sparks flew from damaged joints. Smoke hissed from vents along its armored body. Billions of eyes across the galaxy focused on one lone human standing in the center of the arena. Captain Elias Ward's chest heaved. His wounds burned. His uniform was torn, streaked with dust and blood. Yet his eyes were calm, steady, and unshakable. The alien council leaned forward, their faces masks of rage and fear. "It is not possible," one hissed. "No human can survive this twice. Terminate him immediately." Another banged on the table, claws striking steel. "Do it now, before he teaches the galaxy to fear humans." But Elias did not flinch. He had faced predators, packs, and even a living war machine before. He had learned the patterns, the weaknesses, and most importantly, he had learned the human advantage, adaptability. The machine rose fully to its feet, taller than ever, shaking the arena with each step. Its claws gouged the stone floor, sending sparks and dust flying. Its red eyes locked on Elias, calculating, analyzing. This was no mindless monster. This was a weapon designed to think, to kill efficiently, to adapt. Elias studied it carefully. Every movement had a rhythm, every swing had a delay, every joint had a flaw. He had no weapons, but he had instinct, courage, and the ability to turn the arena itself into a tool. The machine charged, massive claws raised. Elias darted to the side, narrowly avoiding a strike that could have crushed a building. He rolled and sprang to his feet, scanning the battlefield. Broken stone, jagged pillars, and sand became his weapons and his shields. The alien council shouted in panic. "Stop him! End him before he learns completely." Yet their commands were useless. Elias moved faster than they could predict. Humans did not fight like the council expected. They adapted, improvised, and survived where others failed. The machine struck again, swinging a claw like a battering ram. Elias ducked and slid beneath it. Sparks flew as metal scraped the stone floor. He grabbed a shard of debris and struck at a joint near its leg. The machine faltered, sparks erupting, its movement temporarily slowed. Elias smiled. He had found the first opening. The crowd across the galaxy gasped. No human should have survived this encounter twice. And yet here he was, dodging, striking, surviving, unarmed, alone. The war machine roared, spinning, claws scraping walls and tearing through stone. Elias darted around it, forcing it to overreach, to expose the weak points in its armor. Each strike was precise, calculated, and human ingenuity in motion. He leapt onto a fallen pillar, vaulting high and landing on the machine's back. The creature thrashed violently, trying to throw him off. Dust and sparks filled the air. Elias held tight, his body bruised, bleeding, and exhausted, but his mind was sharp. He struck at weak joints, using leverage and momentum, not strength. The alien council stared in disbelief. "Impossible," one whispered. "This human is controlling a weapon that could destroy entire armies." Another slammed a claw on the table. "We cannot allow this. He must die before he reaches mastery." Elias rolled off the machine's back as it swung violently, landing on the sand and immediately rolling into a crouch. He readied himself. The machine recalculated. It adapted. It struck faster, more precise, more aggressive. But Elias had anticipated this. Humans did not rely solely on reaction. They predicted, they improvised, they used cunning. He darted between its legs, pulling debris and stone into its path. Each obstacle slowed it, forced it to stumble, gave him another advantage. Its massive arms swung wildly, smashing stone and sand. But Elias moved like water, flowing around every threat. The crowd held their breath. Every move was a display of impossible skill. A human, unarmed, facing a weapon designed for mass destruction, controlling the battlefield with instinct, courage, and intelligence. Elias noticed the machine's sensors glowing brighter near its shoulders. He understood. The Council had designed it to adjust its attacks, to predict his movements. But it was still mechanical. It could not feel, it could not hesitate. And hesitation, even a fraction of a second, could be exploited. He crouched, focusing, timing his moment. The machine raised its claw for a final crushing strike. Elias darted forward, rolling beneath it and striking at the glowing sensors on its shoulders. Sparks erupted. Alarms blared. The machine staggered, systems overloaded, joints seizing. The alien council shouted, clawed hands gripping tables. "End him now! Stop this human!" Yet Elias had already moved to the side, observing, waiting for the machine to collapse entirely. He breathed hard, chest rising and falling. Sweat and blood dripped from his brow. His body ached. The arena smelled of dust, blood, and burning metal. And yet he stood unbroken. The war machine had faltered, but it was not destroyed. The final, true test had not yet come. Elias raised his fist toward the galaxy. His voice echoed defiant across every broadcast channel. "This is what humanity is. We adapt, we survive. We are the weapon." The alien council was in chaos. Some were terrified. Others were furious. "This cannot continue," one screamed. "No human should survive twice against the war machine. It is unnatural." Elias wiped blood from his brow. His gaze turned to the arena gates. Beyond them, ships of unimaginable size waited. Fleets that could annihilate planets hovered, watching, waiting. Humanity had survived unarmed, but the Council would not allow this victory to stand. And then, the war machine began to rise again, systems rebooting, lights flickering. Its red eyes locked on him. Elias squared his shoulders, fists clenched, chest rising and falling. He knew what this meant. The final battle was coming. This time it would not be simple. This time, survival alone would not be enough. Humanity's true strength would have to be proven. The arena trembled with anticipation. The galaxy waited in silence. Elias Ward faced the returning war machine, unarmed, defiant, unstoppable. The war machine rose again, sparks flying from damaged joints. Its red eyes glowed like molten steel, scanning the arena, searching for a weakness. Captain Elias Ward stood firm in the center. Blood and dust streaked his face. His uniform was torn. His body ached, muscles screaming. Yet his gaze was steady, fearless and sharp. The alien council leaned forward, panic spreading across their faces. "End him now!" one shouted. "No human should survive this." Another slammed a clawed hand on the table. "Do it before he turns the arena against us." Elias did not move. He studied the war machine, watching its patterns. It was stronger now, faster, and more calculated than before. But it was predictable in its own logic. Every machine has one flaw, one point that cannot respond fast enough. Elias knew that humans thrived where others relied on sheer power. The machine lunged, claws slicing through the air. Elias ducked, rolled, and darted toward its side. He used the arena itself, fallen debris, jagged stone, and dust clouds, as tools to slow and distract it. Sparks erupted as its claws struck stone, sending debris flying. The predators from earlier watched from the sidelines, fear in their eyes. Even they seemed to understand that this human was different. He was not just surviving. He was turning chaos into control. Elias leapt onto the war machine's back as it twisted violently, sparks showering across the arena. His hands gripped the armor. His mind raced, calculating the perfect moment to strike. One weak point remained visible, the glowing joint near the machine's neck, just behind the armored plates. He struck it with a jagged shard of stone, driving it in with all his strength. Sparks flew, and the machine stumbled, systems screaming. It roared, a sound that shook the arena to its foundations. Elias held tight, adjusting as it thrashed violently, refusing to let go. The alien council was in shock. "Impossible," one whispered. "It cannot survive this." "Kill him now!" Another banged on the table, shaking it. "The human is controlling the machine." Elias climbed higher, moving with precision across the machine's back. He jabbed, twisted, and used its own momentum against it. Each strike weakened the joints. Each movement disrupted its balance. The crowd across the galaxy was silent, holding their breath. No species had ever seen a human survive, let alone dominate such a weapon. The machine roared again, spinning to throw him off. Elias leapt into the air, rolling mid-flight, landing on the sand. He did not retreat. He faced the machine, fists clenched, eyes blazing. His body burned with exhaustion, but his mind was sharper than ever. He darted toward the weak joint again. The machine swung its massive arm. Elias ducked under it, rolling through the dust and debris. Sparks flew as metal collided with stone. He struck the joint with his full weight, forcing the machine to stumble. The predators that survived earlier took a step back, watching as the human moved with a precision and fearlessness no predator could match. They had learned something instinctively. Humans were not ordinary prey. Elias ran alongside the staggering machine, baiting it toward a jagged wall of stone. Its massive claws tore through the sand. He leapt, striking the weak point again, using leverage, timing, and his weight to bring it closer to collapse. The machine stumbled. Sparks shot from exposed circuits. Its red eyes flickered. Elias jumped onto its back one final time, climbing toward the neck joint. He drove the shard in deep, twisting with every ounce of strength he had left. The war machine froze, systems failing, joints sparking violently. It thrashed one last time, smashing into walls and stone before collapsing with a deafening crash. Dust, smoke, and sparks filled the arena. Elias stood on top of it, chest rising and falling, exhausted, bloodied, but victorious. The crowd erupted across the galaxy. Billions of viewers cheered. Alien species gasped in disbelief. Humanity had done the impossible. One human, unarmed, had defeated the living war machine completely. The alien council was in chaos. Delegates shouted, claws banged tables, and some trembled in fear. "How is this possible?" one whispered. "A single human defeated the ultimate weapon unarmed." Another muttered, "If one human can do this, what could an entire fleet do?" Elias did not wait for applause. He looked directly into the cameras broadcasting across the galaxy. His voice was strong despite exhaustion. "This was just one of us. Imagine what humanity can do if we all rise together." The council froze. Shock and fear spread across their faces. Their ultimate weapon had fallen. Humanity had proven that courage, intelligence, and adaptability could overcome even the deadliest technology. Beyond the arena gates, massive alien fleets hovered, watching silently. Earth's fleets were ready, waiting for the moment to rise. The galaxy had witnessed the unarmed human's victory. The question now was clear. If one human could achieve this alone, what would an entire species do, armed with warships, fleets, and full determination? Elias looked toward the horizon. The arena was quiet now, the war machine a smoking ruin. But he knew this was only the beginning. Humanity had survived, conquered, and made its presence known. The alien council would not forget. They would retaliate. They would underestimate humans at their peril. Elias wiped blood from his brow, raised his fist once more, and whispered to himself, a smile crossing his face despite exhaustion. "We came unarmed. Next time we bring the fleet." The arena was silent. Dust and smoke hung in the air. The war machine lay in ruins, sparks flickering from broken joints. Captain Elias Ward stood in the center, chest rising and falling, bloodied and exhausted. His fists were clenched. His eyes burned with defiance. Humanity had survived, and the galaxy had watched. The alien council sat in shock. Delegates banged claws and appendages on steel tables. Some turned pale, others whispered in fear. "It cannot be," one hissed. "A single human defeated the ultimate weapon unarmed," another shouted. "This species is not prey. They are predators." Elias did not wait for applause. He scanned the horizon, his mind already thinking ahead. Beyond the arena gates, massive alien fleets hovered observing. Ships larger than cities, armed with weapons capable of obliterating worlds. But the human victory had sent a clear message. Fear had entered the minds of the galaxy's greatest warriors. Across Earth, billions watched the broadcast. Hearts raced, voices rose in awe. Humanity had survived where every other species had failed. The unarmed soldier had proven that courage, skill, and instinct could outmatch brute strength and even the deadliest technology. The alien council whispered among themselves. Some called for retaliation. Others simply stared, paralyzed by disbelief. One delegate finally muttered, "If one human can defeat our greatest weapon unarmed, what will happen when their species rises with fleets and warships?" Elias turned and spoke into the galaxy-wide broadcast feed. His voice was steady, strong, filled with determination. "We came unarmed. We survived. We adapted. We are the weapon. And next time, the galaxy will see all of us." His words echoed across the stars, reverberating through alien fleets and council chambers alike. The arena gates opened fully. From orbit, Earth's fleets began to rise, massive warships casting shadows over continents, engines glowing, weapons primed but unused. Humanity was ready. They had shown cunning and strength with nothing but their hands and minds. Now, with fleets and soldiers behind them, the message was undeniable. Humans were not to be underestimated. Elias stepped forward, the dust and blood clinging to him like a badge of honor. Soldiers from Earth's armies, watching from orbit and colonies, cheered. They knew one soldier had changed the galaxy's perception of their species forever. The victory was theirs to claim. The alien council struggled to regain control. Panic spread. Generals whispered urgently, "Prepare defenses. Do not let them reach the fleets. We cannot let humanity dominate." Yet they knew the truth. Humanity had transcended fear. One human had stood against impossible odds and won. Billions of humans armed with technology, strategy, and the same courage would be unstoppable. The arena erupted in finality as Elias raised his hand once more. The alien spectators, previously mocking and laughing, fell silent. Even the predators that had survived earlier retreated, sensing the power and dominance of humanity. From orbit, Earth's largest warship lifted fully into view. Its shadow covered cities below. Fleets of smaller ships followed, forming lines that stretched across the horizon. Humanity had emerged from unarmed survival to full-scale dominance. The galaxy would remember this day forever. Elias glanced at the alien council one last time. Their faces were pale, eyes wide, mouths open in disbelief. They had underestimated humans. They had expected a quick, entertaining victory. Instead, they had witnessed something new. Humans as predators. Humans as warriors. Humans as a species capable of reshaping the galaxy. He looked back at the arena, the wreckage of the war machine and the fallen predators around him. He spoke softly, almost to himself. "We came unarmed, and yet we conquered. Imagine what we can do fully armed, fully united." His words were carried live across millions of screens, across billions of viewers. The alien council tried to respond, tried to regain control, but it was too late. The galaxy had seen the truth. Humanity was no longer prey. Humanity had proven itself deadly, cunning, and unstoppable. Elias turned toward Earth's rising fleets. Giant warships blotted out the stars. Lights gleamed from their armor. Soldiers stood ready at their stations, eyes sharp, minds alert. The unarmed soldier who had conquered the arena had inspired an entire species to rise. The alien council could only watch. Shock turned to fear. Fear turned to realization. Humanity was a force the galaxy had never truly understood. And now, with one soldier leading the way, the future of every species would be changed forever. Elias raised his fist one final time, a symbol of human strength and unyielding courage. "We survived. We adapted. We conquered. And the galaxy will know our name." The screen faded to black. Silence fell over the arena, but across the stars, the echoes of that victory spread like fire. Humanity had emerged victorious unarmed, but the real story had only just begun.